Hey everyone, Andrew here, Melbourne Superman, and today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to do a list of 10 things that cosplayers should not do. The reason that I wanted to do this list is because there are things out there, that I've seen that cosplayers can do that don't necessarily paint them in a great light, certainly don't paint other people in a great light, and it's kind of not worth it. It won't help you to sort of grow your account. It won't help you to become somebody that people will want to gravitate toward. Not that that's what this has to all be about, but I do believe that cosplay should be a community where we can just all have fun and, feed off of positivity rather than anything else. So, speaking of positivity, big shout out to Mike to the Fullest, who gifted me this shirt. He's a client of mine, he's a friend of mine, and absolutely, I love it. It's actually a jersey, it's a Superman jersey. So this, I will call my playbook of 10 things that cosplayers should not do. So before I start, I wanted to tell you that I do have this list written down on my computer, so every now and then I might break eye contact to look at the list so that I know that I'm going in the right order. Speaking of which, these are in no particular order. It's just as I thought of them, I wrote them down to help us all be upstanding members of the cosplayer community. So number one, the number one thing that cosplayers should not do is to claim to have sole rights to a cosplay character or a version of that character. We see it all the time. Well, not all the time, thankfully, but there are people that cosplay certain characters that feel that other people can't cosplay that character because that is their domain, it's their copyright, but that's like not the case. The more the merrier. Everybody should have a right to cosplay whatever character that they have wanted to cosplay and whatever character means to them. So don't try to claim the rights of any character. Number two, don't try to compare yourself to other cosplayers. If you're a cosplayer, don't try to be someone else. Do your thing. Don't look at other cosplayers and, well, okay, I'll back up. Look at other cosplayers that you admire and, take some plays out of their playbook, as it were, but don't try to be them. You have to be you. You have to do what means something to you. Like, for example, if you're a Wonder Woman cosplayer, right? Don't look at the most popular Wonder Woman cosplayer and think if you do exactly that, you're going to have that many followers. It's just not going to happen. Just do what means to you. Think of what message you want to give across, if a message at all, and do that. Have fun, make it your own, because it's all about creativity. And if you're so busy copying other people, you're never going to be able to be as creative or artistic as you want to be. Number three, never make fun of another cosplayer and never put them down. I mean, that's just not on. It's not okay. There are going to be cosplayers that have more expensive suits or costumes, and there are going to be cosplayers that have less expensive suits and costumes.
I am Iron Man.
And it's never okay to write a comment or send a message or say something about somebody who you think has less of a cosplay budget or whatever it is, or less of a quality cosplay than you think that they should. The point is, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You could go out there with a Party City. I don't even know if Party City is still a thing in the States, but you go out there with a Party City version of Superman, or you could go out there with an in disguise Superman suit. It's what is in here, right? Like, if wearing a budget suit still makes you feel great, absolutely do it. If wearing an expensive suit makes you feel great, absolutely do it. It doesn't matter. And one cosplayer is not better or worse than the other because of the budget of their suit. Number four, and this has happened to me a couple of times, and I see it happen to other cosplayers more frequently than you'd think, is never steal other people's images and try to edit them as your own. And there are so many different ways you can do that. Look, I'm not saying, I'm not, and I'll get a little bit into this in a second, but I'm not saying you can't replicate a pose or replicate, something that another cosplayer's done, because look, we're all comic book characters, we're movie characters, we're fictitious characters. At the end of the day, there's only so many things that we can do. And a lot of what we do is, based off of something that we've seen in pop culture, in that sort of media. What I mean is specifically taking somebody's photo and editing yourself into it, or editing them out of it and then passing it off as yours. I've seen people literally take a photo of a Superman cosplayer, not me, but then cut his face out and put their face in and use it as their own photo without crediting that Superman cosplayer. First of all, if you want to do something like that, ask permission. If you do it and you don't ask permission, at least credit the person and put up the original image. It's just, you know, especially sometimes with my images, there are images that I don't edit. Like people like Will Cook, Rams Design, Cosplay Edits and stuff, David Frumholtz, you know, Null Photography, Phil Coney, all those guys, they do such wonderful work. Like, you don't want to take one of their photos and just edit it and pass it off as your own. It's kind of not okay. I will say that if you're not comfortable reaching out to the person that you want to use that photo, at least credit them. But try not to like change a photo and then pass it off as your own edit, or, you know, even minimally change a photo and try to pass it off as your own edit. Really, the people that do work on these things, myself, other editors, other photographers, we spend a lot of time doing that. You know, a surprise edit is nice, but at the very least, credit the original image. That's all I'll say about that. You'll have to forgive me, my voice is kind of going because I've been fighting a horrible cold the past couple weeks, but we're getting there. Number 5, now this kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just saying. If you're a cosplayer, don't try to stake claim over a certain pose or type of image. Like I said before, there are only so many things we can do as cosplayers, and there are going to be times when those streams are crossed. Can't cross the streams, but we have to. You know, if you're, say, a Spider-Man cosplayer, how many buildings can you put yourself at the top of? How many ways can you sling your web? How many times can you crouch without another Spider-Man cosplayer looking like they're doing the same thing? It's just, same with Superman. You know, how many times can you float over the earth? How many times can you fly? We're all doing this because we love what we do, and there can't be, oh, you can't do that pose because I've already done it. There's not enough content to be able to do that. Just because somebody does something similar to you doesn't necessarily mean that they're ripping you off. It just means that that's what they were feeling, and that's okay. But again, don't use somebody else's exact image and edit it as your own. That goes back to number 4. Number 6, and this kind of, I feel, goes for social media in general. Don't unfollow. It makes me angry. It's like, there are so many people that follow your account so that you follow them back. And as soon as you follow them back, they unfollow you. So the only reason that they're doing it is because they want to gain their following and their followship. And it's just like not okay. It's like, if you want to follow somebody, follow them because you like their content. Follow them because you respect them as a social media person or as a cosplayer. Don't follow them just solely so that you can get a follow back to unfollow them. It's kind of not cool. Like, just don't do it. If you want people to follow you, put up content that means something to you and engage, you know? People work too hard to just be followed and unfollowed like that. It's just not okay. Number 7, don't dismiss smaller cosplayers. Smaller cosplayers, we all started somewhere, right? Like, and I mean, in terms of account following. Just because somebody only has a couple hundred followers doesn't mean that they're not a great cosplayer. It just means maybe they're starting out, or maybe they don't want a big following. But that's never going to stop me from collabing with somebody, and looking at their stuff. I think 500,000 followers versus 500 followers. Yes, whilst there's a reason that person's gotten to 500,000 followers, they're obviously good at what they do, or they've bought the followers, who knows. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're better or more worth your time. It just means that they're more accustomed to doing what it takes to getting a bigger following. But somebody with a smaller following is still awesome, is still doing their thing, and is still worth checking out. That's it. Number 8, try not to form cliques.
Not impressed.
Cliques are kind of toxic in terms of when you form a clique, it's more likely that you're not going to include somebody, and you might not even be doing it on purpose, but be all inclusive, you know, like accept everybody. That's all that I can really say about that. Just be willing to accept anyone or talk to anyone. You know, obviously there are people that will try to talk to you that will cross some lines that you don't want to be talking to, but for the most part, just be inclusive. That's where we at. We have to be as cosplayers. Number 9, don't promote negativity. If you're on social media, try to try to keep the drama out of it. Like, there are certain things that don't need to be made public. You don't necessarily need to make your falling out or your argument or your relationship that's, in jeopardy, kind of stuff like that. You don't necessarily need to make that public because, again, as Scotty B says, and it's, there are 3 sides to every story. So you're painting a story about somebody and influencing. I mean, people are going to make up their own mind, but you don't need to be part of that. Unless somebody's done something so horrifically bad, and even then, I would say it's still nobody's business unless it's blatantly illegal or murder or pedophilia or something like that. Then yeah, people need to know about that. But if it's petty, if it's like an argument or it's a disagreement that you're having with your friend or a former friend or an enemy, don't make it public. Just keep it fun, keep it exciting. People have enough stuff going on in their own lives that they don't need to go onto social media and look at a story and be dragged into some kind of drama. Say about that. And number 10, don't take yourself too seriously. Have fun. It's cosplay. We're a great team. We're a great party. We're a great bunch. It's cosplay. You don't have to take yourself so seriously. I mean, Colorado Kryptonian, great example of this. Every now and then she puts up photos that are just really kind of goofy, and it's funny, and it's fun, and it's lighthearted. Masked Mateo, same thing. We don't always have to be so serious. The way that I met Erin, my partner, the first photo that I ever saw of her, she had a mustache. I mean, a filter. It was funny, and that's what attracted me to her, because I was like, yeah, this is funny, this is great. We sometimes have to remember that in some way, shape, or form, cosplaying is acting, and it should be fun. Looking at it too much as a business or as something that we need to do, that's kind of you kind of then tiptoeing into territory where you don't need to be in. So don't take yourself too seriously. Have fun and keep on trucking. So there you have it, 10 things that I believe that cosplayers should not do in order to have a better journey, to have more fun doing what they're doing, to meet more people, and to keep things exciting and positive. So look, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, turn on the notifications bell. Follow me at Melbourne Superman on Instagram. If you're in need of personal training, life coaching, or anything, you can email me at melbournesuperman@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.